To the organizer and viewers of this international conference on Economics, Social Sciences, Education, and Technology 2022, good day. I am Kristopher Ngilangil from Surigao State College of Technology, Surigao City, Philippines. I am going to present my paper entitled Cold Case on Serial Killings in FH Batacan's Smaller and Smaller Circles. Rationale of the study. A killer is someone who murders at least two people at different times in separate occurrences. The media and the public consciousness have frequently focused on serial killers, particularly when there are multiple victims of the killings that are carried out in a horrible manner. Their preferred murder weapon may differ. However, they have one thing in common, an abnormal sort of psychological fulfillment. Along with the murders, they usually conduct sexual assault, robbery, cannibalism, and have a strong desire for money or property. The murders normally occur over a period of more than a month, with a large gap between them, and in some cases, years. In the minds of the killers, there are various levels of insanity at work. It might take a long time to find the killers in any horrible killing, especially if the investigators conducting the investigation are doing a great job. There are still unsolved homicides in the country today. The objectives of this study. The study focuses on the Filipino novel Smaller and Smaller Circles by F.H. Batacan. She is a journalist, musician, and a crime fiction writer, in addition to being a Filipino novelist. Killing is one of the most popular extreme social topics. Batacan's work is a good candidate for an in-depth investigation of the characterization and duties in their work. This research looks into the role of investigation in solving societal murders. Exposing the truth becomes a piece of knowledge that educates the public about why murders occur and why investigators take so long to find the criminals. This would not deter the reader from believing that this could happen in real life, particularly in the Philippines when it comes to investigating horrible murders. This research looks at how investigations are handled in F.H. Batacan's novel, Smaller and Smaller Circles. It looks into the components of characters, symbolism, and conflict in particular. On the theoretical background of the study, theoretically, F.H. Batacan's novel, The Smaller and Smaller Circles, exposes how Philippine investigators investigating murders. The literary ideas of formalism and mimesis greatly support it. Formalism evaluates the novel's inefficient narrative structure, from exposition to the first occurrence, which rises and complicates the action, heightens to the climactic event, which brings the action to a close and concludes. The formalistic method, according to Shivlovsky, emphasizes the study of all sentences in the literary texts. Formalism considers the objective form of the story's sequence, the characters, symbols, conflict, and other literary components that add to the fiction's overall meaning according to Zainol. Mimesis is also accentuates the image of the study's researcher. The art of ideas imitates the first human experience and replaces it with a copy of notions presented by Mimesis' original theorists, Plato and Aristotle. Without eternity, the simple becomes convoluted and is dumped into the point of hyperbolic notions. The more true and imitative anything is, the more misleading reality becomes. In a characterization, symbol and conflict is important to prove the position of the fictitious Filipino novel, which concentrates on establishing existence and extent of the investigator's means to investigate crimes. The study is studied in this perspective. And the research methodology, the descriptive approach is used in this study, which is qualitatively organized in a systematized manner using matrices and textual format. Characters, symbols, and conflict are the three key concepts addressed in this study. The novel F.H. Batacan's Smaller and Smaller Circles, published in 2015, serves as the study's primary source. The story is a must-read for everyone interested in learning more about the investigator's means to solve horrible murders. Be cautioned, however, that some graphic phrases from the novel are quoted to establish strong points of proof for this study. Other references and confirmation of the futility of investigating gruesome killings can be found in articles, books, research papers, and other intended or internet-linked readings. Finally, the researcher highlights key facts from F.H. Batacan's story in relation to the investigator's character, symbol, and struggle in the Philippine environment. On the results and discussion, the researcher pointed out fictional characters. These are the following persons. First, Father Gasains. His societal role or function is that he is a Catholic priest, a forensic anthropologist, and his manner of characterization is respected and diligent person. Another fictional character is Father Jerome Lucerno. He is a psychologist, teaches in a university with Father Zains. He supports the work of Father Gas Zains. Another fictional character is Director Lastimosa. He is the director of the National Bureau of Investigations, an elderly head of the said bureau. And Attorney Benjamin Arzinas, ambitious attorney who works in the bureau, who is egotistic, ambitious, and inept person. On the fictional symbol, the following symbols are drawn in this study. First is heart. The societal image reflected is that heart is the killing where the victim's hearts are mutilated. Another one is the face, wherein killing where the victim's faces are peeled off. And the third fictional symbol is the genitals. This is where the victim's genitals are removed. And the fourth one is the knife. This is the object that is used by the killer in butchering the victims. On the fictional conflict, the researcher drew man versus man. This is a conflict among the investigators investigating the murders due to their rivalry, wherein the National Bureau of Investigation, led by the director in the person of Director Lastimosa, who is in charge of investigating these crimes. And it's due to the lack of staffing in his agency, he enlisted to help of two Jesuit priests, Father Gasains and Father Jerome Lucerno, to help them figure out what was going on. They only had the killings pattern, which occurs on the first Saturday of every month, to rely on. However, due to rivalry and self-centered mindset, the national investigators were unable to conduct the inquiry by themselves. On the conclusion and recommendation, no civilization is flawless, which is understandable. Every society faces its own set of problems. The Philippine society is depicted as terrible as the murders committed, and these murders are not solved immediately due to the ineptitude of the national investigators who are just interested in advancing their careers. Investigators usually work for someone they believe that they can assist them to reach the pinnacle of their profession. The conclusion of this literary study demand more research into the real experiences of the family's victim who have yet to receive justice. Thank you and good day.